I want to give you guys $100 each. Have I got your attention? No, I really want to give you some advice. Lost it. Good evening. My name is Terence Okus, and tonight I'd like to share with you some advice that I've received from all the dads I've known, which means I'm going to introduce you to some of the dads that have been in my life. But more importantly, I want to challenge you to approach those that come to you with unsolicited advice and receive it as if you were getting it from your dad. So this is a totally new way of approaching people, and it's going to make you listen in a way you may not listen before. Because how many times do you clam up when your dad speaks to you? Well, the first time I asked my dad for a piece of advice, it was around getting my name. Is Papa, how did I get the name of Okus? And he says, well, it goes back to your grandfather, Grandpa Okus. And he came from Lithuania, worked his way up through South America through the gem mines, and very gregarious man, spoke many, many languages. Well, he got to the Mexico-American border, got up to the border guard, and the border guard says, name, papers. And my grandfather, little John, looked at him, being able to speak a dozen languages, and unfortunately English wasn't any of them. He says, I'm okay, it's U.S. My last name is Okus, okay, U.S. Okay, hey, Diana knows it. Okay, so self-deprecating humor, that was the advice that I got from my father. Don't take yourself so seriously. But when it comes down to dads versus fathers, what's really the difference? Well, dad's making that emotional investment in the child. He's there for them. The father is just making a contribution. Let's hope that guy was not the lifeguard on the gene pool. Hey, did you know Yoda was a dad? I consider him a dad. Think of all the great advice that he gave Luke. Luke would have never become a Jedi Knight if it wasn't for Yoda, even though Luke happened to be very whiny and a lot of times didn't listen to him. But here's somebody that I listened to, both of these gentlemen, my father, Arvin, and my father-in-law, Leo. Now, unfortunately, I lost my dad, and when he did, my father-in-law became my dad-in-law. Very wise man. Avid fisherman, and one of the great pieces of advice he'd give me was around fishing tackle. And he'd say, Terry, fishing lures are designed to catch fishermen, not fish. And so you got to think about the marketing aspect of that and not be seduced by what the advertising world wants us to believe. Another favorite dadism of my dad-in-law was always be sure to pull your oar. And this was something he always said at Thanksgiving when nobody was going up for thirds and fourths. On top of being an avid fisherman, he was also a very successful investor. And one of the things he always would tell me was, Terry, you know, your money's going to run out long before the deals do. So in other words, be a very good financial steward and don't get seduced by the big sales. Here's my three big brothers. They're also dads in my life. And being the baby of the family, I had to listen to these guys quite often. But some of the things they bestowed on me stuck with me to this day. One, this is from my big brother, Anthony. A patient man always rides a donkey. Wow, that's pretty profound when you think about it. But hey, when you operate on internet time, and everything has to be now, sometimes you got to stop, take a breath, and get on that donkey. It'll soon come. Another one is dealing with change. You know, shift happens. That's what change is all about, shifting from one thing to another. And change is the tempo of life. That's the one piece of advice my other brother likes to share with me quite regular. Then finally, this is a piece of advice that I have given to my children, my two sons. And as you can see, this is our dog Kibbles, by the way, and he is not a flea bag. But you lay with the dogs, you're going to wake up with the fleas. So here's your call to action. There was some other ones tonight. I have to add to it. How are you going to engage with that person that comes with unsolicited advice? Are you just going to immediately discount them, or are you going to view them in a new light like you would your dad? And with Father's Day right around the corner, let's keep in mind some of the great things that dads are really good at doing, as well as moms that act like dads. Unconditional love, always being there when you need them. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.